Humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to all the assembled devotees here, and all glories to your wonderful services, your preaching that you do here, Mataji. Many pranams. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Nina Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and all the assembled devotees on the call, and all glories to Guru Gauranga. I wish Vardhana Mataji a very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji, and all glories to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji for thank you, inspiring all of us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mata. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call every day, Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful chanting, and thank you so much for your services. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji, or Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. And I wish Vardhana Mataji very happy Krishna conscious birthday. Hare Krishna, this is Krishna Kumari Devidasi.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so very much for every day joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call, Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful japa. Thanks for your wonderful association and your great seva. Please keep joining. Hare Krishna. So, devotees, our next session is basically the Srimad Bhagavatam study, which is by none other than His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj. Before we go ahead and welcome His Holiness, he is not yet joined, I'll give a brief introduction about him. So His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj is a disciple of ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and an initiating spiritual master within the ISKCON movement. Maharaj was born in New Jersey in 1947. Maharaj came in contact with the International Society of Krishna Consciousness in Denver, Colorado at the tender age of 24. In 1973, he began practicing Krishna consciousness in New York City, and shortly thereafter began serving in New Vrindavan Farm Community in West Virginia. That same year, he received initiation from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In 1986, His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj accepted the sannyas order and began preaching in Cincinnati and in Columbus, Ohio. In 1995, he began serving as a resident sannyasi in Chicago, where he was based until 2013, when he relocated to Krakovac, Croatia, in Europe. At present, Maharaj offers spiritual guidance around Europe, USA, and India. Maharaj has also written a book called Krishna's Way, Natural Living, about the importance of Varnashrama Dharma and spiritual ecology. This was a brief introduction about His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj before he joins. But Vaishnavis and Vaishnava, go ahead and please unmute yourself and continue to announce your name and give me the pleasure of welcoming you, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nina Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, and happy Krishna conscious birthday to Vardhana Mataji. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Sushmita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, Mata. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Please giving us your association, and indeed many happy returns of the day. Happy Krishna conscious return of the day to Vardhana Mataji. I noticed that His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj already. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajas. Thank you so much for giving us your association, Maharaj. We are so fortunate to have your association every other week, right here from where we are sitting. Thank you, Maharaj. So whenever you're ready, if you could take the call over and give me 1 second, I will let you know.
Hare Krishna, Nina Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Candramauli Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
As well as to wait at lotus feet.
So, Maharaj, whenever you're ready, today we will go ahead and we will proceed from Canto 7, Chapter 11, verse 30. Whenever you're ready, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vritti Sankara Jatinam Tatad Kula Kritam Bhavet Acharanam Apapanam Antyajate Dvaisainam. Translation: among the mixed classes known as Shankara, those who are not thieves are known as Ante Vasayi, or Chandalas, dog eaters, and they also have their hereditary customs. Purport: the four principal divisions of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, have been defined, and now there is a description of Antyaja, the mixed classes. Among the mixed classes, there are two divisions, Pratilomaja and Anulomaja. If a woman of a high caste marries a man of a lower caste, their union is called Pratilo. The woman of a low class however, marries a man of a higher caste, their union is called Anulo. The members of such dynasties have their traditional duties as barbers, washermen, and so on. Among the Antyajas, those who are still somewhat pure in that they do not steal and are not addicted to meat eating, drinking, illicit sex, and gambling are called Antevasayi. Among the people of the lower classes, intermarriage and the drinking of wine are allowed, for these people do not recognize such conduct as sinful among themselves. Chakshun militam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale. Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pacharine. Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha. Patitanam Bhavane Bhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namaho Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvayana Mayasrista Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. The four classes of living entities, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, are created by me. This is called Swadharma, one's material tendencies, their natures. No one is born exactly the same. The verse is Karma Daivana Trena, according to their activities in previous lives, along with the desires that they perform these activities, and they get a certain reaction. And as these reactions accumulate in a mixed way, they come out in various types. Just like if you take the three principal colors, red, blue, and yellow. An expert, painter can mix these three colors and make hundreds and hundreds of other colors from these three. These are the primary colors. So the four castes, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudras, when they're mixed in different ways with persons from different levels or combinations of qualities, sometimes a person is a mixed varna, And that means they've come from, as it's mentioned here, maybe a Kshatriya mother and a Brahmin father, or Brahmin, or a Brahmin mother and a Kshatriya father, a Vaishya father and a Kshatriya mother. So as these mixed classes are also there, they are also categorized accordingly, according to the mixture. And here we have what is called antarjas. And they're mixed castes. They're not pure castes or pure members of the varnas. And you can go on mixing these different varnas in different ways, and you'll get different categories. This is all described in the Srimad Bhagavatam here. And they all have certain characteristics and tendencies. We're hearing about the antarjas here. They're mixed caste, and they have very simple occupations, as it says here, barbers, washermen, so on. They may be shoemakers. They may be gardeners, something very simple. And they don't have the education. They simply grow up in the atmosphere of the tradition of the activities of their parents, and they take on the similar activities. And sometimes they go outside of that and mix, and then again, you have another type of mixture within the varnas like that. So these four varnas are actually the basis of what is called Vanashram, Varna and Ashram. Ashram means place of spiritual development. Along with the Varnas, there are four ashrams: Brahmacharya, celibate student, and then you have Grihastha, married life, following regulative principles for married life. Then you have those who are retired from married life and are moving away from the duties of married life and sort of separate and finish their devotional life in a less organized way. They're called vanaprastha. The word vana means forest and prastha means dweller. Of course, in today's society, people, when they actually come to that stage, they don't dwell in the forests. They usually separate and go into different holy places and perform their devotional service. Or if they're not in devotional service, they simply separate and perform some material activities aside from their family responsibilities are no longer required. And then, of course, you have the sannyas order of life. That's those who take the vow of traveling and preaching. They're engaged in devotional service. So these four ashrams, four varnas, make up the social system of society. Nowadays, you don't have that very clear social system. Srila Prabhupada spoke so much about the Varnashram system, but then he concluded, based on his observation and what was also showed to him by the members of the society, that it's not possible to reestablish Varna and Ashram. But Prabhupada, what he did was he organized, or tried to organize, he engaged people in a certain occupational duty according to their particular nature. And then they would serve in that way. People would serve as brahmanas, people would serve as kshatriyas, people would serve as vaishyas, people would serve in the mood of a sudra, which means to assist the higher class. Sudras more mostly engaged in arts and crafts, like that. And then you offer your activities in devotion to Krishna, and that it becomes Daivi Vanashram, or spiritual Vanashram. And that was Prabhupada's vision for not only for the ISKCON society, to start within the ISKCON society and set the example for the entire world, that people could serve the Lord according to their tendencies to work in a certain way. But now, because people are so mixed up in their activities, no one knows even what varnas they are. if they like to do a particular activity, it may indicate their varna, but it may also not. Just like nowadays, people are engaged simply in making money. And making money is the business of a Vaishya. The Brahmins and the Kshatriyas don't engage in any occupational duties to make money. The Kshatriyas manage, and they also protect. They collect taxes, and they live off the taxes they collect, and then they also give back in the form of different services within the society, that is the Kshatriyas. The Brahmins give spiritual knowledge. They also give medical knowledge. They also give astrological knowledge. And they also give vision for the rest of the society. And they are supported by the rest of the society. They don't work. A Brahmin does not work for anyone. For a Brahmin to work for anyone, he loses his Brahminical caste automatically. It's considered to be a Brahmin. He's called Brahma Bandhu. He's fallen from his Brahminical status. If he takes the occupation of making some kind of pecuniary gain from his activities, Brahmins simply depend on the mercy of the rest of society by providing services that are valuable, and they also give vision in society on how society should be governed. So these are the pure activities, and the Vaishyas, they engage in commerce and banking. They grow crops. They take care of cows, and they take care of animals. They do various services, and they also trade. They also do banking. So they make the money, and they also distribute it in the form of goods and services. But nowadays, in material life, everyone is after money. So therefore, no one is working according to their particular. So if one gets a good paying job, he considers that himself successful. It doesn't matter what occupation he does, as long as there is money. So that kind of activity is just a perverted reflection of the pure caste system. And it's also a deviation from that system. So therefore, what we see in today's society is everything is so mixed up. People are motivated by material gain for the occupations they perform, and everything is mixed up. So there's no leadership in society. No one follows any kind of spiritual vision, and people are motivated by economic gain. And of course, economic gain leads to sense gratification. And therefore, the goal is sense gratification with economic gain as the motivation to achieve it. But in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada wanted to bring it back to its actual standard, where each of the varnas would work according to serve according to their particular nature. And the nature is evaluated by an educational system taught by the Brahmins, where the Brahmins would teach all of the occupations of the other varnas. And based on the teaching, there would be an evaluation system. And based on the evaluation system, people would be designated according to either Brahmin, Vaishya, or Kshatriya, like that. Sudras simply means those who assist the other three classes in their different work, or different services like that. So even if one is doing the occupation of a Sudra, but they're engaged in devotional service, they're not Sudra. They're Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava is, although engaged in various activities, are not seen according to the activity, because the activity is devotional service, and devotional service is not within the three modes of material nature. In other words, it's transcendental. So even if one is cleaning the temple or cleaning the toilets or fixing the machines, it doesn't classify them according to their particular varna. It classifies them as being Vaishnavas who are serving in a particular way in order to bring about a balance within the social system, where all of the occupations and all of the labor that is needed creates a holistic society where everyone can work ultimately to serve the Supreme Lord, and at the same time take care of the material responsibilities that make up a social system. And that is Krishna conscious, or what Srila Prabhupada wanted to do. He was somewhat not unsuccessful, but he set the stage for the rest of us to simply follow that process or develop that process in Krishna consciousness. And that was what he wanted in terms of, and he said, if we can do that, we can change the whole world. And we can show people, and when people, as society starts to fall apart economically and politically, socially, of course, it's already fell apart spiritually. People will be coming to us for engagements, and we can engage them in various types of activities. And once they're engaged in activities, evaluated accordingly, then we can also teach them the process of devotional service. In other words, engage them in devotional service. So Prabhupada had a plan for purifying the entire world and bringing them to Krishna consciousness. That was his plan. He's following Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's plan. Every town and village, that the glories of the holy name will be resounded everywhere, and the process of devotional service will be the occupations of the living entities. Now that's the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Srila Prabhupada, who is the representative of Gaur Nitai, Nityananda, and the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His mood was to bring about that. So not only did he speak a lot, and you see here, he's mentioning in this purport, Prabhupada's even talking about the lower castes, the mixed castes, the castes that are not pure in their particular varna, but are a combination of different varnas that make up a redefined sense of varna. And this one is called Ante Vasayi, and they're considered lower class, and they intermarriage, and they also engage in other activities. It says here they drink wine, but they don't recognize that these things are actually sinful, like that. So Krishna consciousness is for everyone's, for the Jagais, the Madais, the Antevasishas, and anyone who is in a human form of life can take up Krishna conscious and raise themselves out of their material entanglement based on, many of them are based on sinful activities, of course, and come to a stage of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is actually the goal of life, like that. So there is what we say, a systematic presentation of how to bring people from one stage of life to another. This is all mentioned in the Shastras, even in the terms of worship. Many people cannot worship Krishna directly, so they're asked to worship maybe Lord Shiva. And if they worship Lord Shiva purely, then Lord Shiva, being a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he says, Vaishnava yata Shambhu. Shambhu refers to Shiva. He is the best of all Vaishnavas. If they're worshiping Shiva nicely, properly, then he will bring them to Krishna or to Ram or to Vishnu. In other words, he will bring them to worship of the personality of Godhead, like that. There's also worship of Agni Dev that's mentioned in the Shastras for people who are attached to worship the demigods, but in a pure sense of worship. But we don't encourage that type of worship because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the formula that if you just chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, gradually you can purify yourself from all of these wrong conceptions, or what we say lower conceptions of worship, and worship Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the Maha Mantra. It is the means for self-realization in this age. So therefore, the devotees of Lord Chaitanya go everywhere around the world, distributing the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the form of this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, like that. And people in the lower caste, or any caste, even those who are in higher caste but are not engaged in devotional service, can come to the stage of Vaishnavas. When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was here, his father also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There was a debate who is more elevated within the society, a Vaishnava or a Brahmana, because the scriptures give a lot of credit to Brahminical activities. And it says that a Brahmin, he is the leader of society because he gives the vision by how society should be directed. But a Brahmin who is not engaged in devotional service cannot even save himself, what to speak about saving others. Therefore, one who is engaged in devotional service, even if they're born in one of these lower families, Kirata Hunam Palinda Pukasa, Ambira Sambira Ava Kashyadaya, Yane Chapapa Upasrayasraya, what is that? Prabhavishtave Namaha. They can also come to devotional service. So birth is not a restriction for engaging in devotional service. And even people with born in lower class who are considered by that caste can do the work of Brahminical life if they are trained in the process of devotional service. Devotional service not only it trains and it also purifies one from the lower tendencies and brings them to the higher tendencies of Brahminical culture. And therefore, a person who is born in a low family, or even who performed activities that are categories outside of the Varnashram system, if they take the Krishna consciousness, they can actually become spiritual masters and become representatives of the Lord, and also engage others in pure devotional service. So the power of devotional service supersedes all of the transcends all of these lower considerations. These things are mentioned just to show how the society is organized according to the Vedic culture, but it somewhat is encouraging people ultimately to give up all of their lower tendencies and engage in devotional service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made it, what we say, simple. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, eat food that is only offered to the Lord in devotion, and associate with and serve those who are also engaged in similar activities. And one can actually come to the stage of pure consciousness. Pure consciousness means that I am the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and my business is to serve the Lord and to serve those who are serving the Lord. That is pure consciousness. And the service is given by the spiritual master according to the nature of the living entity, and therefore one is engaged according to their material nature, and therefore they purify that material nature and it becomes transcendental. And so it's no longer Brahman, Kshatri, Vaishya, and Sudra. It is Vaishnava who are serving according to the different categories of service on the social level. Okay, we'll stop there and we'll open it up for discussion.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, from last few days, we have been hearing from several speakers, Maharaj, that what is our role in society? How should women behave? What is our real work? Thank you so much. I mean, the more we hear, the more we try to understand. But devotees, if you have questions, if you are confused, like, if you're in a dilemma, Maharaj is right here, and ask your questions. This is the right time to ask. If you have any confusion, any dilemma, how to do, if we are doing enough, because His Holiness is right here. Go ahead, please. Either unmute yourself or raise your hand, and I can introduce you to His Holiness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't see there are many questions, but Maharaj, maybe I can offer a little question at your lotus feet. As you said, now we are all we are kind of confused. We think that the only occupation that is left now in this Kali Yuga is like a money-making occupation. Yet again, we are trying to think that hopefully our consciousness, I mean, we are working 8 hours, coming back, we are trying to engage a very little bit of that, whatever we earn at Krishna's lotus feet and other Vaishnavas' lotus feet, and we think, quote unquote, we think that, okay, we are done. I'm not a Shudra, I'm not a Vaishya, maybe like a pretend Brahmana. How do we really know, Maharaj, that we are?
Yeah, that's what the business of a spiritual master engages the disciple according to the nature of the disciple. He evaluates, that's mentioned by Srila Prabhupada. Spiritual master can see the tendency of a particular disciple and engage them accordingly so they can make nice progress. And they can use their abilities, their talents, their intelligence in serving the Lord like that. But even if that valuation system is not there, which it hasn't been there in many situations, then one should work under the guidance of a superior person who is engaging people accordingly. That may be second best, but devotional service is absolute. In other words, one type of service is not better than another type of service because service means to please the Supreme Lord. And the Supreme Lord doesn't require anything. He simply wants us to serve him in the mood of loving him. In other words, when the service is motivated by devotion, then whatever that service is secondary. It's the loving mood that attracts the attention of the Lord, and which is the platform of devotional service. But if we're fortunate and we can engage according to our nature, then we can do one wonderful service. And that was Prabhupada's vision. He wanted to, because he knew, as Krishna says, Chaturvarna Maya Srista, everyone has a particular material tendency. It just has to be brought out through the process of education. And that educational system, Prabhupada established as what he called the Varnashram College, as a system of education and then evaluation. Education, training, and evaluation, like that. But even today, we see, even if that is not there, many who are engaged in devotional service within the ISKCON society are also working according to their nature. Somehow they also found through their own experiences how best they can serve. Some are being guided by the spiritual master, others are being guided intellectually by the spiritual master, where they can also understand their own, how best that they can serve, like that. Service is independent, and service is in the mood of pleasing Krishna. There's no other purpose for service than to please Krishna, not to gain something material. Service that is mixed with material desires is what it is. It's called Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Yoga Mishra Bhakta. Mishra means mixed. Pure devotional service means to serve the Lord and to please the Lord, that's all. And there's where the spiritual master guides the disciple accordingly.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj. There was a quick question from her Grace Rasavilasani Mataji. She's written, she's writing, it is written in the purport that if a woman of a lower caste marries a man from a higher caste, it is good. But if a woman from a higher caste marries a man of a lower caste, it is not right. So, Maharaj, does it still apply in today's world?
Not so much. Just engage in devotional service, you transcend all of these material designations.
Thank you, Maharaj. Sridevi Mataji. Sorry, Maharaj, were you about to say something?
Sridevi.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the wonderful Guru Parampara. All glories to you, Guru Maharaj. All glories to the devotees. Speaking on this subject of higher caste, lower caste, marrying, out of caste and so on and so on. Considering the enormous cost to society of divorces, breakup in relationships, and children getting traumatized and so on, can we expect a return to the arranged marriage system which was in place for centuries and where society was very stable, children were raised nicely, and we didn't have so many problems?
Well, people don't like that system. They think, I can make my own choice, and therefore they're pretty much on the mental platform because they'll make their choice on what attracts them and maybe not what is actually beneficial or according to how best they can develop. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the third canto, says marriage and friendship should be based on two principles: nature and likings. Similar likings, similar nature. So the natures are the different varnas. The likings are devotional service. So if we can align people up accordingly, just like they use astrological evaluation systems to see if two people are compatible. But that is not necessarily always foolproof because that's still within the realm of material, but it does help. It does give some direction. So therefore, with the assistance of one's caretakers, authorities, one can get guidance on how to enter into the Grihastha ashram like that. If we're attracted by physical appearance, that wears off. That's also been proving. Within 2 to 3 years, physical attraction wears off. And then there better be something else to keep that relationship strong. And ultimately, within Krishna consciousness, it is service to the Lord and working together to serve the Lord in a cooperative way. Even if there is some dichotomy in nature, the liking is the same. What is that liking? We're both trying to become Krishna conscious.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah. So that's yeah, but these things are there. So it's before one enters into the Grihastha ashram, it is best to get some what we say opinions from people who know both people. That is the best way to do it. People who have positions of authorities who know both the boy and the girl, and they can say, well, yes, it looks like their natures are very similar. That's what we say, the best way to do it. And the parents were the ones that were doing that before then. They were marrying according to caste and economic categories like that. But that simply broke down because the whole Varnashram sisters started to break down, and therefore everything got mixed up. And so the whole idea of arranged marriage was no longer seen as viable. And then people were thrown into the realm of free choice. But when you choose, what are you going to choose, Brad? Based on physical appearance, based on whether that person has got money or not, but whether they're good in romantic relationships, So all of these, evaluations or the ways of, are material, and therefore they can't last, or they're subject to become changed as time goes on. The best way is to get opinions from people who know both and who are in a spiritual position.
Thank you, Maharaj. Himangi Mataji, do you have a question, please?
I should
Hare
mention,
Krishna,
I have to leave at in about 20 minutes. So we got 20 more minutes of questions. I have another program to go to.
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my pranams to you. I just wanted to, some of my questions actually got answered. So my other question is that a message came through on my phone that there is a Varnashram system, a Varnashram college being established in Mayapur. Do you have information on that, Mataji? Probably. I'm sorry, Maharaj. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm somewhat involved with that. I'm geared to teach in that college, but the college is still in development yet. So things slowed down because in India, a lot of times getting buildings done and getting everything straightened out becomes very slow. But that's it. It's the Bhakti Raghava Swami. He's been the vanguard, the force to bring about that, and he's fixed on that 100%. So he's living on the land there, and he's also planning everything for that Varnashram college. So if you want more direct information, you contact Bhakti Raghava Swami, like that. But yeah, that is the plan. It's also in line with, it's in line with Srila Prabhupada's desire, yeah.
So Maharaj, will it have like teachers who will, guide the students and find their psychophysical nature?
The teachers are the Brahmins. The Brahmins do all the teaching, and they teach the other Varnas. They teach Kshatriya Varna, they teach Vaishya Varna, and they also teach Brahminical Varna. So they teach the categories of occupations within the different Varnas. And that's all done by the Brahmins. If you want more direct information on how that works, listen to Srila Prabhupada. He gave a morning walk lecture March 14th, 1974 in Vrindavan, India. And there was a discussion between himself and Hridayananda Maharaj, who was asking questions. Prabhupada's explaining the whole system, how he wanted it developed. So basically the teachers are the Brahmanas. They will teach the other Varnas also.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, thank you. Yeah, get involved and learn more about it. We want more and more devotees to get not only interested in it, but involved in it in one form or another. Sukara Krishna Das.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my respectful Vincent your lotus feet. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Candramauli Swami Gosai Maharaj. We're really happy. Whenever you come, I get so much blissfulness just by seeing you, Maharaj. I see Prabhupada through you. Maharaj, today's context, whatever you're asking, Maharaj, first I seek your blessings because you are so great that just by hearing something, we get completely purified, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, my question is, today's context now about in the spiritual world, there is nothing called lust. No, it's only love. Because everything is Krishna in the center and all the senses they know it's for Rishikesh and everything is for the pleasure of the Lord. So they have everything for Krishna in the center. But in the material world, it is the opposite. Everything is seen for the body, for the senses. So why this has been done like this here? Is it a test for everybody to pass that, people get attracted and they do miss?
That desire to love and serve Krishna is the nature of the soul.
Ah.
But when the soul takes on the material body and identifies with the material body, especially with the mind, then it directs its attention towards the external environment. And it sees itself rather than as a servant, it sees himself as the enjoyer. So the living entity in the material world thinks they are the enjoyer, and the material world is for their enjoyment. And so that love that is intrinsic in the soul is transformed into lust. Lust means the desire to please one's own senses in a material way. Material. So that same desire has now been redirected towards selfishness. And so,
Maharaj, then how in India, this is a Sanatan Dharma and all, how did they allow live-in relationship? The government, the court, the judiciary shouldn't have allowed that to come in India, no? Because we are trying to teach others and we are following the wrong thing, doing wrong for the right people, right for the wrong people.
Well, India has been influenced by the outside cultures, and many of them are material. So even now, first it was Islam, 800 years, then 200 years, it was the British. Now it's the Americans who are trying to introduce all of the entertainment and the easy way to live according to technology and various types of conveniences and conveyances. So the world is moving in that direction. It's being led by people who are avaricious. They want to make profit, and therefore they spread this disease called materialism everywhere. And people think, oh, well, now we can, enjoy so many of the benefits of the material energy in such a convenient way. But they don't see the whole picture. They're actually raping the earth, destroying their own consciousness. They're actually polluting their own existence. And you can see it simply by the statistics. The statistics are practically everybody in the world is sick nowadays. If they're not physically sick, they're mentally sick. And this is all due to this intoxication with material enjoyment. So we're in the Kali Yuga, and it's there. But Kalo Doshani Deya Rajan Asti Eko Mahagun Kirtanaiva Krishna Sya Mukta Sangam Padam Bhajan. So Sukadev Goswami says, yes, this Kali Yuga is so bad. There's an ocean of faults, and it's even affecting the continent of India in such a very direct way. But what is that benefit? Asti Eko Mahaguna Kirtanaiva Krishnas. Yeah. So our duty is to spread the glories of Krishna through the holy name and through the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. And intelligent people will become attracted. Those who are not intelligent, who are too steeped in their material activities, can't see the benefit, nor do they even want to see the benefit. It's like if, when a person is intoxicated drinking liquors, if you tell the person to stop, they think you're punishing them. If you give them another bottle of wine, they think, oh, you're my best friend. But if you try to stop them, they think, oh, what are you're causing me distress. Panapina pasyati. The people are suffering, and they can also see other people are suffering, but they still continue in the same way because they're addicted. So material life is a type of addiction. It's like when people get addicted to sex, they get addicted to wine, they get addicted to drugs, they get addicted to eating. People get addicted to satisfying their senses.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dear Maharaj, I had seen Balaram Prabhuji, you had raised your hand. I don't know, Prabhu, do you still have a question? I can see he's on mute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Balaram, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I was throughout the lecture, some kind of reflections came in and maybe thought of understanding more. Many times, Prabhupada had engaged many devotees in different services. Recently, I was hearing from Shamsundar Prabhu that how Prabhupada engaged him in many services, but he gave him to told him to carve the deities of Jagannath. So I don't know how Prabhupada knows that this person is capable of doing certain activity. Maybe what kind of, he's a Brahmin, he's a Sudra, he's a Kshatriya. How did he find out, Maharaj, like the way he engaged in many devotees, many activities? Even
that's the intelligence of a pure devotee. He can just simply see you and can understand how best you can, what is your talents, what are your abilities, everything. Prabhupada was pure. His purity is not limited to just giving philosophical teachings. You simply see a person, and just by seeing them, he can tell a little bit about their personality, what they're thinking, how best they can perform activities. That's Prabhupada. Pure. There were other devotees who were also like that, who were also spiritual masters. They can simply see their disciples and know how best to engage them.
Wow. Maharaj, how do I know what's my psychophysical nature?
Well, you can also see that through your own activities. And of course, as we live in a grihastha ashram, we start to see it in relationship to doing the activities of family life. But when it comes right down to it, there is a system of education that helps bring out one's particular nature. And that's what we were talking about in terms of Srila Prabhupada's plan for developing Daivi Vanashram is to establish a college of training. So the college will be training people in a certain way, but the evaluation system is just as important as the training, and seeing how people accept the training or are inclined to a different type of activity. I met many devotees who were trained in Brahminical activities, and they told me later that, I'm not a Brahmin. I'm more inclined to take care of cows. I'm more inclined to manage temples, or I'm more inclined to protect devotees. So many of them found their own nature simply through the process of trial and error. But that takes the long process. The best way is to go through the educational system.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you for that, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Chintamani Mataji, would you like to go ahead with your question?
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to yourself. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, we often
Mataji, I think you got just muted.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mata.
So my question was, we often the question is asked as to why this material world, and of course, our Maharajas and we hear, and Prabhupada has explained it's because of the desire of the jivas. But somebody recently asked me the question as to why did Krishna even create jivas? Why jivas? Why all of us?
All right, go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adi Leela.
Yes, ma'am.
Chapter 7. Verse number 166. I think that's the verse. 7166. Now let me see. Let me see what it says in the purport. No, that's not it. Go to verse number 66. Oh, okay. Yeah. Not 160. Go to 66. Let me see if that's the verse. No, let me think. Where is that? It's really a direct answer to your question. Chapter 7, Adi Leela, verse.
Maharaj, is there a keyword I can enter?
Give me a minute. I go to my references. It'll take me a minute here. I just have to leave for a second. Okay. Okay. And this is a very direct answer to the question. We discussed this and we couldn't come to any kind of conclusion until we found this statement by Prabhupada. Mhm. Still looking. I almost know where it is, but I always forget exactly the particular verse. Can't seem to find it.
Guru Maharaj, if I may humbly request to know, is it 116, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah, you got it.
Why
116.
is there a need to create the spiritual spark? Is the question in the purport.
Yeah, you got it. 116, 116. Thank you. That's it. Okay, can read. Oh, go to the second paragraph. Next one down.
Someone may argue. Go ahead, Mataji.
Someone may argue, why is there a need to create the spiritual sparks? Well, the answer can be given in this way. Since the absolute personality of Godhead is omnipotent, he has both unlimited and limited potencies. This is the meaning of omnipotent. To be omnipotent, he must have not only unlimited potencies, but limited potencies also. Thus, to exhibit his omnipotency, he displays both. The living entities are endowed with limited potency. Although they are part of the Lord displays the spiritual world by his unlimited potencies, whereas by his limited potencies, the material world is displayed.
There you go. There's the answer.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you
The
so much.
absolute truth contains both limited and unlimited potencies.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So it's a tattva thing. It's not lila. It's all about the actual nature of the Supreme Lord is limited and unlimited. We are the limited potency of the absolute truth. We are also part of the absolute truth, but in a limited way. 116. 116, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to depart because now my time is up. Sridevi, you have a quick question?
No, Guru Maharaj, it is my friend here, Sakshi, who's been patiently waiting.
Real fast because I'm on my way.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, and all glories to the assembled devotees. Just a quick question. You were speaking about the devotional aspect in our services. So, how do we bring this devotional aspect while doing the service? And secondly, how do we know that the object of our devotion is pleased by our service?
I'll answer the second part. Prabhupada said, when you please Krishna, you're also pleased because you're part and parcel of Krishna. If you feel satisfaction in your service, that means you're pleasing Krishna. The first part is bhakti is there in all aspects of existence. So when you want to serve, you serve the Lord with a desire to please the Lord. That's all. Not that you serve in order to get something material. You serve to please the Lord. That's all. The best way to do that, even if you have no desire to please the Lord, is simply work under the guidance of the spiritual master. He tells you, do these services. If you do these services, that's pleasing.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let us all offer our humble obeisances at Maharaj's lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhya.
Kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Maharaj, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Ho.
Please come to neighborhood.
Radhe.
Jai Ho.
Radhe Radhe.
Nityananda. Nityananda. Gauranga.
Radhe.
Jai Jai Shri Radhesha.
Radhe
Gomra
Radhe.
Vrindavanda.